That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what are you looking at, man?
Oh, there's a bubble in this thing, and it's weird.
It's making you happy. This
A
bubble's
lot of
making
things
me
make me happy. Bro, so we hadn't gone to the dispensary down the street from our house in like forever. Because there's one like on 35th and Southern.
Yeah.
And we've been going to the one in Tempe for so long, and we haven't wanted to go that far, so that's why we've been like out of everything in the house.
2, 3.
So yeah, we've been out of all of our stuff in the house, and just because we didn't want to go all the way to Tempe. But I don't even know why we started going to this place to begin with. I don't know. Anyway, Crystal was out at this, I think it's called like brunch bar or something. It's some restaurant up here.
Yeah.
That they just opened. And it's like walking into a club on the weekend, but on a Sunday morning when you're eating brunch.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, super weird. But I think that's like a thing, because there's this place downtown called Breakfast Bitch that's the exact same way. Like they got live DJ and they're just playing fucking like music, like if you're at a club at night drinking.
And it's going hard.
And and that's what you're doing. You're drinking, which I guess makes sense because the only reason people go out to brunch really is for mimosas.
Get drunk
in the day drinking.
They must have seen this scene and they were like,
you know what? Who's going to brunch and getting drunk in the daytime? Okay, conservative people
more.
just want to, have a little fun, but they're not like, crazy. And where do we make our most money, though?
From
the people going out at night, getting all drunk and crazy and spending too much. And that's their idea is like, I'm going to go out and get drunk tonight.
I think it's from the brunch people. They're like, dude, these people are wild. They want more. Well, yeah,
this is what I'm saying is like, they're like, you know what? Let's make a market for these people to have an excuse to get all fucking crazy.
Dude,
it's easy. We just put a DJ in the morning.
When's the last time you went to a brunch?
This weekend.
Before that, though. A while?
The weekend before it, I think.
So you guys are the audience.
No. Because I don't like going to those places. I've been to them.
No, but I'm saying I'm not saying that place, but brunch in general. You like that
during
idea?
Brunch time. Brunch is great, man.
You love brunch?
It's the ability to get breakfast, but, into your lunch so you don't have to, you could sleep in.
You like that.
And you can wake up. Breakfast food is the best food.
I love breakfast food.
It's the best food.
Yeah.
That's why it's like the most important meal of the day. Not because it's like good for you to have a breakfast to start your day, but it's because it's the best.
Well, it's breaking the fast. You're fasting. You're sleeping.
Yeah, if you want to break it down. Yeah. But I'm just saying it tastes good.
That's what it is. Because that's where it comes from. It's the, fasting overnight. You're not eating for 8 to whatever hours. More like 5 for me. But you're breaking the fast. You're eating something. You're hungry. You woke up. You want some energy, Go.
I get it. But the food itself is the best. Like, pancakes and waffles and egg sandwiches and just
French
omelets,
toast,
French toast,
muffins.
You can get like steak and eggs, biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, you can
do
bacon.
Did we say bacon yet?
Chicken and waffles.
Oh my God, yes.
You can do whatever you want.
So much great stuff.
People have taken breakfast to the ends of the earth. You can do whatever you want.
And then for it's an excuse to hang out with your friends who were too busy to go out that night for work or some shit. But it's like, you know what? We can get mimosas tomorrow morning.
Are you an egg person? You like eggs?
Oh, I love eggs. Crystal, she's not like, she likes eggs if she's going out and stuff. But if I'm like at home, I'm like, let me cook some eggs. She's like, I don't want eggs. Like, I want an egg sandwich. Let me cook an egg sandwich anytime of the day. I can eat eggs all day long, and I'll be fine.
You scramble eggs or over easy eggs?
If I do an egg sandwich, I scramble it.
You like scrambled?
Yeah, I'll scramble it up.
Oh, so this is just all egg. You could do like a slice of ham, cook the ham, and then throw some over easy egg on top.
I could do that.
Yeah.
If it was a thick enough ham, like if it was like a ham steak or something.
There you go.
For it. I feel like if I do that,
Or
there has to be a protein. Like the egg becomes a side product to the sandwich. The main event is the protein in there. Like, so, you know, you see that on like a hamburger.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Or you could do the muffin, you know, get a muffin, get some bacon, cook up an egg, throw some egg in there. For some reason, the over easy egg fits better and when you start doing sandwiches. But if you're just doing all egg, which I've done, I remember being a kid just making a whole pot of like a whole pan of eggs and then just smashing 2 breads and eating it, dude. Like, I love that too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, her and her friend were at this brunch place that day. And he was like, I want to come over and I want to try that vaporizer you got.
Yeah.
With the balloons and shit.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, well, if we don't have any weed. So if you want to do that, you need to stop at the dispensary right there where you are. And I need to tell her like this because like she hates going and shopping
weird.
like this on her own.
It's a little weird.
And I'm like, maybe she'll be fine because she's with her friend. You know?
Yeah, that helps.
He probably knows what he's doing.
Dude, do you remember?
But she feels like she doesn't.
Do you remember the first time you walked in one of those stores? Wasn't it kind of weird?
I love walking in those stores and pretending it's my first time.
No, but I ask questions all the time. But like, I'm just saying, like, what you're like, oh, okay, because you know, like,
it could be overwhelming.
It's just you have this like underlying, like, I'm doing something bad. I don't know why, like, because you've been programmed your whole life.
I feel like for me, when it became illegal, because I never felt that weed was bad for you. I never did it because like I'm not about to go find a drug dealer and pay some dude some money for weed.
Why not?
But because it just wasn't me, you know. But when it started becoming like medical and like, oh, I have a friend with a medical card and he has it, I'm like, okay, well, I'll smoke with you. Or I'll try it.
That's how you started?
That's how I did it. It was the edibles, really. Like, they'd bring the edibles, and it felt...
Because it's candy.
Edibles felt a little bit, safer to me. Little did I realize they weren't. Edibles are not safe for you.
A brownie, you know? Like,
I know.
Yeah.
But
it's just a dessert.
So when it was legal and I went into dispensary for the first time, I was, like, more, like, giddy and excited. So I was like, oh, yeah, I could do this. And
there's like, excitement. There is this like, underlying excitement.
But I don't think it was, like, any... nerves about like, what am I getting? Am I really getting this stuff? My mom's gonna get mad at me. No. It's
just an underlying. It's like it's layered. So you have all these kind of. You're in a weird place. You're standing in line. You're looking around. You're not familiar with everything. You don't know everything. Like this is remember the first time, you know, like so you're still learning a lot, and then you're like around other people, and then you're like, oh yeah, we're all here getting this, huh? You fucking stoners. Like, and then you're like, it's just layered on like, and that's just one of the layers, you know. Like I remember when if you were smoking with your friends and then you saw somebody and you had to run, the
stigma was definitely there about it all. I mean, especially like. In school, they always like kind of.
You went through the DARE program. I mean, that's what the programming was, right?
Yeah, I did DARE. I was a DARE kid.
Yeah. So I mean, it was there. They would come to school. They make a whole hoopla about it, and yeah. So you just have this like feeling. You're like, I don't know, man. They told me it's not that good. I'm not supposed to do this, you know. But I am, so, because it's okay, but I'm supposed to think it's not okay. So I think I'll just, I'll do it anyways, like, so I don't know. It's just all these like weird, and it's the first time. So then after a while, you're like, yeah, whatever, dude, just give me the shit. What you got? Like you just, yeah, what's the deals? Let me see what's up. Give me some gummies. I want some mango rings. I want some, what else you got? Do you ever get into the pastries or the drinks?
I have messed with the drinks like a couple of times. I think we were in San Francisco and they gave it to us as like a free thing.
Yeah.
Like it was like a gift.
Did you like any of them?
It was like seltzer. I'm not a big fan of seltzer.
That's what they seem to make a lot of these. I should have. This one place I went to, I mean, a lot of places have it, but they had like hot sauce and other shit like that. And I was like, I should have got some.
I've had it in Rice Krispies and brownies, cookies, The powder you can add to like your drink and shit. Gummies, obviously, chocolate. I feel like gummies have always been my favorite way of ingesting edibles. Just
Gummies.
easier. Oh, banana bread. That was actually really good. That was my favorite.
There's a place I go to that makes like fresh bakery like goods. Like they got like tiramisu and like they got like cheesecake and like dude, like they make like it's like a bakery is making this stuff, dude, and they infuse it with a can of butter, you know, like that's the butter ingredient and whatever they're making, and then they make it.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, yeah, I saw this YouTube channel back in the day where they showed you how to make edibles, and they showed you so you start with infusing an ingredient, and then you use that ingredient to make something. So they made mac and cheese. Infused mac and cheese. And the way they did that was you could use a butter.
Yeah, the can of butter.
Instead, they made they infused milk. So you can infuse milk with weed. And
then that's your ingredient that you add.
Yes, and then that's your ingredient. And the idea was that they used the milk to, I don't know, I think it was something to do with making the cheese itself. So the cheese is what had the infusion to it instead, not the macaroni.
There's a good Vice show that Bong Appetit, where they show all the different ways they're making real dishes like lasagna or something, and they infuse it.
I know that, what was it, Netflix had like a cooking competition show where they had to use weed like in their ingredients, and some of these people were making like, you know, chef based fucking foods and stuff.
Professional chefs or chefs in a kitchen, and then they're working with like a guy that knows about different buds. So then he's like, this has this kind of hint, or the cook will tell him, I'm looking for this, and then he's like, well, what about this? And he'll bring him, like, they had like a whole pantry full of different weeds, dude, and he would bring one out. He's like, oh yeah, this would fit better. This gives it like a tangy, like, because the chef knows smells. So he knows what smells good. So he's matching the smells with the food. And like, so like some of the times it would just be oils, or sometimes it would be, they would just throw the shit in there, dude. Like they would just like the flour in there. Cause like, you know, some dishes, you know, you would use oregano or something like that. Like it could be like that, you know, or,
right.
Yeah. So there's different ways you can infuse.
I remember
which is
seeing
cool.
One of the episodes where they, had they wanted to infuse, like, you smoke dish, like you could put smoke over dishes and shit.
Yeah.
So they wanted to do this over their whatever their main course or something, and so they had like a big fan, and they were like smoking it out, but they, I guess, smoked too much. Like there was too much smoke that the studio that they were filming this thing in was starting to get like hotboxed. And so they had to like close everything down, open the gates, and pull these giant ass fans in to clear out all the fucking smoke.
That's funny.
Hilarious. But yeah, there was a lot of interesting things there. But this dispensary down the street.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The one thing I wanted to tell you is that they bought, it was half an ounce.
Okay. Yeah. 14.
Yeah,
grams.
half an ounce. So she actually bought 1 ounce. She bought a whole
grams.
Ounce of with 2 different strains. So it's half an ounce each. How much would that cost?
It just depends how good it is. I mean, it could be anywhere from 200, 300, 400, 500. I mean, it could be, if you get a good deal, $100. I don't know. Like
the stuff we just smoked, she got all that for 100.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a really good deal.
Yeah,
if it's good shit, for sure.
It was good. Did you think it was good?
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like
I feel good.
Whatever we smoked too. This session we just did, like, didn't hurt my throat as much. Like usually I start coughing towards the end. And I suppose this was like a lot smoother to smoke. I don't know. Maybe I did a really good job packing this and rolling this one.
It could be the strain too. If you feel good, I'd say write it down. Write that shit down.
It's a sativa. It sits in there. But the only reason I know is because it came in the bag, and I was like, okay, that's cool. We've been getting these jars, so I'm used to seeing like the jar sizes, and I think it's actually more than an ounce. No, it had to have been an ounce, right? It's the legal limit.
For recreation, I think that's all they can give you. Yeah.
So I think that's what she got. She went in there, walked out with a whole ounce, 2 different bags. She spent $100. I was like, fuck. And she's like, oh yeah. And they remodeled the place. Like they made it like super fucking fancy.
It's nice.
And I think they had this same deal last time. Me and Rob had walked in, and I think I paid $50 for half an ounce.
Yeah, they're giving you the hookups and want you to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
And I remember Rob making a comment being like, wow, it was a great deal.
It is.
We smoked that shit too. That was when we did that game night.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta do another one of those.
I'm down, man.
We gotta pick a fucking date and do it.
Yeah. For sure. I
want to say next weekend.
I want to buy like a mobile screen.
You know
or something.
what? I bet I can get Crystal to do it for my birthday. Like, give me the option. Like, hey, that's what I want to do for my birthday. We're gonna do it. That's the last weekend of the month
of May.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll put it on my calendar.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, man. I think it was a pretty good deal. Just check it out.
For sure.
Yeah.
We will do that.
Spent like 16 minutes trying to say that.
Because I love the weed.
Hey, man, who doesn't?
Right.
Weed is great.
Makes you a better person.
I think so.
Makes you nice, thoughtful.
Yeah.
You stare at a bird and you're like, what's up, bird?
I haven't met anybody who's on weed and like caused a fucking fight or got all fucking pissed off and broke shit. Or
it's hard to do, but you can.
I'm not saying you can't.
You can overcome the good feelings.
But I feel like I haven't seen anybody just strictly on weed and only weed and get all fucking aggravated.
Which is crazy. That's what they started the reefer madness was. That all these people were getting high and committing crimes and fucking people up. And
reefer madness? I don't think I remember that one.
That's how the whole banning of marijuana started. They named it wrong, called it marijuana, which is Spanish for like a wild tobacco. That's not even weed. So they always called it hemp, and they used hemp to make clothes and make ropes and make paper. They can use hemp for all kinds. So farmers were always using this, and they just called it something else and called it, and were writing stories in the paper saying that people were getting all hyped up on this drug and they were raping and killing and, attacking people on the street, and it's reefer madness, like that was a whole propaganda that they started with, this shit. But it's just a fucking plant, dude. It's so weird. You ban plants,
Ban plants?
Ban plants.
Now I'm just thinking about bands that plant.
Yeah. What kind of band? Like rubber bands?
No, I'm thinking like rock bands and they have their own plants.
Yeah.
Like there's a Panic at the Disco flower out there that you can get now.
I was thinking about plants that have like bands, and they're like working out, like Groot or something. You see Groot's all buff now in the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah. Did we talk about how that Groot is not Groot that we first were introduced to?
I haven't seen any trailers, so I don't know anything about it.
No. What I mean is like, so you remember in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Groot died at the end, right?
Yeah, and he just has a stick and he regrows it.
He didn't regrow. That's his offspring.
Oh, okay. So that's like a flowering bud or something. Yeah,
that Groot that we have now, that we've seen grow up from a little baby Groot, is not OG Groot from the first movie. This is a different Groot.
It's like this is a whole different. Something.
Yeah, it's like his son.
Yeah.
So, which is the reason this Groot it looks a lot different. Like he's a different face.
Yeah.
And he's got a different body type.
Yeah.
So, because he's not the same Groot that we originally had.
But they still use Vin Diesel's voice? Or
yeah, no? It's still Vin Diesel's voice. He plays Groot.
He's got the Groot voice.
Yeah, and of course, this Groot can only say Groot. But they just fucking change his voice for it. But yeah, he's a different Groot altogether. Interesting to know, because not many people know that.
There is a cut scene at the end of the second one, right? Where he's like, clean up your room. And he's like, I am Groot. And he's like, you don't backtalk me. Like, yeah. Like, or so he said something like that.
Fucking raising teenager.
Yeah. He's like, damn, now I know what's his Wandu, whatever, was going through when he was raising me.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. What was that guy's name? Something ending with an O.
I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah, it's like the full circle now. He's raising a
That's
teenager.
life, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking life.
Yeah, right. That's what we're here for.
It's gonna fly right by you.
You make some babies and then they
It's
grow
gonna
up.
stop. It's gonna wave, and it's gonna be like, "See ya."
And then you shrink. Isn't that weird that your body shrinks? Like old people
No,
are
that
shrinking.
makes sense.
You think gravity is just fucking
Fuck
you
yeah.
up, or you think it's just weaker.
And you're not stretching.
So you think that it's just gravity's years of abuse, or is it more you can't withstand it anymore? Gravity.
I think it's a little bit of both. And then, of course,
Compresses
like,
your back.
yeah, over time, your body's just getting compressed. That's why you're taller in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. And you're taller when you're in space.
Well, yeah. You have no pressure at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way taller. That's why there's like rehabilitation when astronauts come out of space. Like, can't just go straight into normal life.
Yeah. They have to decompress for so many weeks or whatever, right?
To get back and your brain doesn't work the same.
Which is weird.
I mean, if you spend so much time in zero gravity and you're used to like, taking out your pen to write something down, letting go and letting it just hang right in front of you. And now it's spinning right in front of you while you go grab something else, do something, come back, and you just subconsciously grab your pen from thin air. Like they have astronauts that have done that. Like they're like, okay, write your name down or something, sign this. And then they let go of the pen to go grab something and it just falls and they're, oh shit.
You got to reprogram.
Yeah, they have to. Same thing that happened when they got up there. Like first time they did that, they're like, oh shit. Oh no, it's going to stay right there.
It's
okay.
chasing it and like, get over here. Or they're trying to put it down. They're like, they're trying to lean it against a wall or something. And
they're like, and the old guy has been there. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I just don't want my pen to fly around. He's like, let it go, man. We all fly around.
Or spin it in place. So you could flip it and it'll never.
It's just spinning.
It'll just keep moving in the same.
I think you have to do it like two hands. Like,
yeah.
Otherwise, you give force to it. And in zero gravity, there's nothing to stop that force. Like we have air to stop a force,
Yeah, there's no resistance.
You roll something, gravity and air resistance on like a little toy car or like a Hot Wheel, it'll stop eventually. But like
wind resistance,
in space, there's nothing
to vacuum.
Yeah, exactly. So you throw something in space, it goes.
Until it stops.
Until it comes in contact with something else.
To stop.
And the force, depending, still is energy. There's still energy moving. Like, so when you hit something, you don't just stop. Because you have kinetic energy, so that energy's got to go somewhere. So either the mass of the thing you hit is big enough to where, like, it moves, or you're bigger than the thing you hit, it moves. Or the thing you hit is too big for you to push, it pushes you back.
Yeah.
And so now you're flying in the opposite direction, unless you got like hold on to something.
It's almost like
that's scary. That's why I think like space is one of the scariest things I can think of, because like there's just a black void out there. Can you like?
There's water in space. They're finding water in space.
Oh yeah,
just coming off of planets, and it's just floating in space.
But what was that movie? With Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Was it Gravity?
Yeah, Gravity.
Yeah. And Clooney.
George.
Remember he was like, to save her, you had to push her or something? And he's like, it's the only way. And she's like, no, we can find a different way. He's like, no, it's the only way. We're too far out. I'm going to have to push you. I'm going to throw you. And he threw her. But in doing so, he goes flying a different direction, and he's just lost.
Yeah, because he pushed his force and it forced him back, and it forced her forward.
Because you don't have gravity or friction to stop you.
Yeah. So
your force still needs to go somewhere. And if it can't bounce forward the way you're pushing it, you're pushing off something that's going to move you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it was enough to where he was able to throw her.
And they want to build the base on the moon. So what is that going to do to people? There's limited amount of gravity.
The moon has gravity, so it would be different.
Yeah, not as much. And they said that dust too. There's like moon dust that gets all over you. or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something like that too.
Yeah, I was reading something that like some of the astronauts that got off, like they couldn't get it off of their skin. Like it was like some kind of material because there's no atmosphere on the moon. So it's holding like, it's got weird shit.
And I think there was like this conspiracy theory type thing that whatever that dust was, one of those astronauts was like allergic to it. Like he breathed it in and it like changed his mentality. And then it's like, maybe that dust was aliens.
It's definitely from space, but there's stuff that can survive in
Always
space.
aliens.
We have stuff on Earth, like mushrooms.
That's scary too. There was that other movie with Jake Gyllenhaal where they find that fucking alien amoeba or some bullshit and it starts killing everybody. That shit was scaring me.
There's more and more space talk lately because of all the sightings and everything, and the Pentagon releasing video of this and that, and talking about like there's just a lot of stuff going on with that, and it's just getting more closer and closer to like a reality where we have some kind of object or some kind of being or some, you know, something from not this world, you know,
right,
that exist from another planet. Like there's more and more evidence that this is probably a real thing, which I mean, if you talk to any kind of like mathematician or anything, the numbers and odds are overwhelming that there is other life and we're not the only ones. But you know, everyone just didn't want to believe it or just say that's not going to happen, or we're too far away for any of these other, you know, aliens to actually visit. You know, but no, they're just seeing more and more. And then as video gets better and better, people with cell phones and all that, they're recording all of these and getting more out there. So it's, I don't know, man. It's weird. There's definitely something going on out there. I mean, what do you think? You think there's a strong possibility, or you think it's just all fucking bullshit?
I mean, man, why not be a possibility?
Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't think it is. He's like, if there is.
Yeah, but what does he know?
I know, right? One of the smartest fucking.
I feel like there has to be
scientists.
like, I'm not saying like anywhere close to us, but there's got to be somewhere where something happened similar to the way we're seeing it happen today.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
What about the multiverse? What do you think about that? Different versions of you existing at the same time.
That's crazy. I'd be really upset.
You want to be the only version of you?
No. I just would be upset to find out there's like a version of me that everything's the same except he's also a ninja.
That would be cool.
Right?
So you want to be that guy.
Why am I the fucking ninja? I want to have like ninja stars and be like, wow.
He must be in a universe that has ninja schools. Like,
exactly. Like that's the only difference is like ninja was a requirement in school and now he's a ninja.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, everybody's a ninja, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, no, fuck you, man. It's a big deal to me.
It's a big deal if you're not a ninja.
Right.
Right.
Maybe there's a version of me that never decided to grow a beard and like, I don't want to look at you.
You encounter him. He's like, what the hell did you do to yourself?
What'd you do to yourself?
Why don't you have any facial hair, you freak?
You freak. You bald freak.
Get away from me.
I don't know. It would be interesting if there was to peek into a different reality.
What do you think that would do to you? Would that make you want to try something different? Because you saw it working.
That's
like,
crazy.
Oh, I could actually do that.
But then there's if I see my different reality and it inspires me to change my current reality
and do that
and incorporate that in some aspect.
Like you're a biker and you just ride bikes and you got leather jackets and stuff. Right. And you're like, oh, this dude's, and you want to check out my bike? And he's like talking to you about.
And he's like, bro, just take my bike.
Yeah.
I'll get another one.
This is how I started.
And it's like, oh shit, he's sending me on that path. But then there's like a version of me that never got to experience that at all. So there's still me who decided to be a biker because I saw myself as a biker. And then there's me who's just me and keep going without any of that experience.
And there's you.
So now I've created a whole different universe by peaking.
I think it already exists, right? Because it's infinite. So like,
it doesn't exist until it needs to exist.
So there's a version of you that does the exact same thing that you just did, but then rejects it and doesn't become a biker. And then there's another version that does exactly what you did and does the exact same thing, but a little different. So it would be infinite.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That there's an infinite amount of
and they don't even have to be huge changes. It could be just like you don't wear glasses or something, but everything is the same, but you just don't wear glasses. You know, like, I don't know.
Oh my God. I would fucking be so pissed off. So pissed off. I was pissed off about not being a ninja for a second ago. Fuck that. I'm pissed off that there's a version of me that does not need glasses. Fuck that guy. Who do you think he is? Fuck that guy with his perfect vision. Damn it.
Yeah, he has perfect vision. He's had it his whole life.
Oh my God.
How bad is your vision?
It's terrible, man.
So if you take the glasses off, that's it. It's
I can't
done.
fucking...
Nothing.
Do you want to know when I can see the... All right. Let me see. You see this says 2 right there?
Yeah,
okay.
I see the 2.
I'll tell you when I can see the 2.
Okay, he's getting closer and closer to the monitor.
It's not blurry anymore. Back here,
that's like a foot.
Blurry. Right there's blurry.
That's about 1 foot away from the screen. Maybe 1.5.
I need glasses. Can't live without my... I used to wear contacts all the time. Remember that?
Did you?
Well, let me think.
I don't think I remember that because I didn't see that.
No, I had contacts when I worked at the bank. I would switch between contacts and glasses.
Yeah.
At the old job. So I would wear contacts and then I'd switch between contacts and glasses. And then
what did you like
during the pandemic? I stopped wearing contacts altogether.
You think it's better for your eyes? You think it's weird to put all that stuff in your eyes? No,
I like wearing contacts because glasses get dirty. They're smudgy. There's glares. There's always the weight of them on your face.
They fall off your face.
Right now, like your eyes are already deciding that like they don't want to show you your nose, right? You know that like your eyes can see your nose, but you subconsciously like erase it from your vision, so you don't even know you see your nose.
Yeah.
Eventually that happens with glasses too. And of course it's going to happen with sunglasses. There's a frame here.
Yeah.
And so now my eyes are just like totally not seeing anything outside of the frame because I'm getting used to that. So I have less vision area to have because of that. But also I don't enjoy them. I'd rather wear contacts. But here's the fucking crazy thing, okay?
You can
only wear contacts for so long. Did you know that? That's
what I was going to ask you about it being on your eyeball. Like
after a certain amount of like, I think it's like 12 hours, depending on the person. When you start wearing them, it's sooner. But your eyes dry out. And the crazy fucking thing is,
can stick, right?
Even if you like re-lubricate your eyes and whatnot, your eyes still dry out. And even if they make contacts with like breathable materials, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, if there's something in your eye, it's going to dry out.
Yeah.
Regardless of how like super hydrated these contacts are.
Yeah.
If they can't figure out why, like, why does your eye dry out? It doesn't need to dry out, but if there's something in there, it's going to dry out. And it's not about like, oh, well, there's no area for it to moisten. All the technology they've put into these things, and they can't figure out why your eyes are going to dry out.
It's got to be some kind of...
It's weird, right?
It's got to be some kind of mechanism. Like your eye knows that there's something on it.
Like there's contacts you can sleep in and stuff, but that's not good for you.
No.
Because
overnights or whatever.
Yeah. Because of that reason, like your eyes, they don't like anything foreign in there, no matter how comfortable, how flexible. And sometimes like at the first, when you start putting them on, you put them on for a second or two. After that, you get used to them for a couple hours throughout the day. Like for me, it was about like 10 hours throughout the day. I never really noticed my contacts in there, but then they start drying out. And that's when you really notice them. Like your eyes start to hurt. They get so dry. And so you want to like get home and just like take your contacts out. And then don't even tell me if you've been drinking. Like, you can feel that even more. And then there's been times I'm like, oh, I need to put my contacts in my case every night. And you got to take them out of the case every morning. And you can only have them outside of the package for X amount of time. Like, you can get ones that you toss every 2 weeks, or you get ones you toss once a month, or whatever the reason it, or whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
So, it's just a hassle to continue to get solution, clean them, put them away, because all the little bacteria and everything that they hold on the lenses themselves increase the risk of all these issues you can have with your eyes, just in general.
Yeah, and you just don't want to mess with your eyes. So
it's another like nightly routine or something. But when you're like out partying or drinking, or you just want to like go straight to bed, I'd always find myself throwing money down the trash, because I would just pull my contacts out, toss them, because it was way easier, quicker than having to go through the whole process, putting it away. I don't know. I could be complaining about like the stupidest shit. People are like, what the fuck is this guy complaining about? God damn, first world problems.
It's contacts. Get over it, you dick.
And I've thought about surgery too.
The LASIK.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I'd say if it's probably a better option than contacts. But I don't know what the risk factors are. I guess it depends on the people or the person, like what your eyesight is and how your eyes are, because everybody has different eyes. Some people have more dry eyes, more sensitive eyes. Like, my eyes are sensitive, dude. I don't need glasses, but I wear them a lot of times because they're sensitive. I wear the blue light glasses at work because I'm looking at a screen, and if I don't
eyes are definitely sensitive, man.
Yeah, well, mine are especially.
They get strained, and people don't know too. Like, they'll go and buy sunglasses, and they're just tinted fucking like film on your sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
You have to actually like buy legit sunglasses that have UV. Oh, I know, I fucked up.
Sunglasses
that have actual UV protection.
Yeah. I always
you
look
need
for
full
that.
spectrum. You need to have UV protection.
It matters.
But you need
protect your eyes, people.
What are those sunglasses? Polarized lenses.
Shit. And you could tell because you can actually look at the sun.
You could see that. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to do that. Don't ever do that.
Don't do what I do, but I look at the sun.
Your eyes get sunburn.
Yeah, you can
as
fuck
much
up.
as people are like, oh, I don't like wearing sunglasses and shit dark, or I don't need them, or I don't like the way it looks. You should be wearing sunglasses. I used to wear them when I was driving, and then I started figuring it out, and I was like, oh my God, my eyes are getting sunburned.
Yes.
Like, imagine, like, if you haven't had sunburn, you sunburn on your skin, and your skin is like, basically the sun is radioactive. Okay. And those radioactive rays are just melting away your skin and heating it up. Like, you're cooking yourself. And so those UV rays are cooking your fucking retinas, and your retinas get sunburn, and they can't cry out to you as easily as your skin can. Yeah. You're just fucking them up your eyes.
You're overworking them.
Get your fucking sunglasses, people. Put them on your face.
And that's a public service announcement.
Get the right ones, okay?
I think you know what it is too. Like the worst, or the place that people fuck up a lot is they don't wear glasses when they're out in the water, like in a boat, or like they're out in the ocean. That's just reflecting off of those
rays, reflecting off of the surface of the waters. That's why, like, you go snowboarding, skiing, you go play in the snow. Snow reflects the light back at your fucking face. You can get burned the fuck up.
Yeah, you gotta protect it.
I've gotten sunburned in the snow, and it's not fun. It's one of those things you forget about. You're like, oh my God.
You don't think about it, but that sun's reflecting off of that snow, and it's fucking you up. You
know what's cool too is, like, you can get a UV camera. You can buy them on like Amazon. They can just attach to your phone and shit. UV camera, and then you put sunscreen on the way you normally would. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you go ahead and you look through the UV camera at the areas you put sunscreen on. Look at the spots you've missed, because when you put sunscreen on, your skin goes away. It's like putting on a colored cream over your face. You see it in there, and you'll be surprised of like, oh my God, every time I've gone out, this sunblock is not working as well, or this one works better. Like, spray spray is a very popular sunblock method of applying sunblock, but it's not as good as covering the surface area as a cream-based sunblock would.
I don't know, man. I hear shit about sunblocks and they got chemicals. Your skin absorbs chemicals. Those chemicals go into your body. They go into your bloodstream. Like
you can get, the right sunblock, but you definitely
supposed
need
organic, good, like fucking shit. But I don't know, man. I just stay away from it. I don't need it for my skin. I can handle it. So I just stay away from it. I'm like, nah.
All skin, man. You say that now, but like when the melanoma comes up.
I love talking about this. I had this conversation before. Because, like, dude, what were people doing before? What were people doing before there was a Walgreens? Before, we had chemicals to spray on ourselves and, like...
Die of skin cancer.
You think all people died? You think everybody would just die?
You can look at the amount of cases where people have, like, died of skin cancer pre and post, like, sunblock methods. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
For sure.
What about in the like 1400s or something, dude? They weren't using no sunblock,
dude. Like
they were all dying from skin cancer.
Not all of them, but it's a trait. Like they were dying from other fucking shit.
I think your body will adapt.
They have toilet paper, man.
I think people are just fucked. I think they're just fucked up because they don't go in the sun often enough, and then they go in the sun, and then their skin's like, what the fuck, and they're just getting like fucked up because they don't do it regularly. I think maybe it's like a shock to the system. Maybe they're just not getting enough sun. It's like backwards, it's like counterintuitive. Like
there's a couple different things. Okay, one
you got dark, dude. You could get dark, man. Your body will adapt.
I know, my body gets dark but I always go out in sunblock,
dude. If people saw you now and you showed them that picture you showed me, they'll be like, "Who is this? That's not you. That's not your skin. You look very light, dude. Like European light, like a Spaniard, dude. Like
that's all my family is a Spaniard.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
Somewhere down the line.
But I tan. But like, you can get your body is like you got it in there.
The thing too, though, is that people live longer now.
You think so?
I know so. Like it's proven. Like the average age of a person, like you would live into your 60s, and they're the people that felt like the 90s for us now.
How long do you think?
And you could see it in some like in truckers. I just saw this video of this guy.
Truckers.
Yeah, bro. No, for real.
No, I want to hear about
people
truckers.
Who are trucking on the roads. Okay,
they get their arm fucked up. I know
they get their arm fucked up
because it's always
and
in
you
the
can
sun.
see the difference. Like you would never really be able to see it.
Yeah.
In case they're put in this specific scenario, because the way that they're driving on the roads for constant amount of times, half of their body, and you've known it, you've been in traveling in your car before, like you start to get hot on one side. You can see like my skin will start to turn red, driving in my shorts, like, to California or something.
Dude, this cider is good.
Just I know, I told you.
Just not to change subject.
It's great. But truckers, like you could see the age. Like the sun is aging out your skin harsh compared to the side where their body is not in direct sunlight. So for example, like their left side is closer to the window, right? So they'll put out their arms, their hands, and you'll see like wrinkled, dark hands, arms on this side. Skin, it looks like fucking leather.
Yeah.
And on this side, normal.
Yeah.
Like what you would see of any other normal person on their right arm. And I seen this guy said there was a post, and the dude had worked outside construction his whole life and he never wore sunblock. And so his arms and his hands are all just look like an 80-year-old man, 90-year-old person.
Yeah.
But never left the house without jeans or pants on. Never wore shorts.
Yeah.
So his legs look like they're in their like fucking 30s. Yeah. Like just even younger. Like just, they've never seen the sun, and they are like pristine looking baby skin.
That's weird. You fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should definitely.
We should have wore some fucking sunblock.
He should. I would have wore shorts.
If I'm gonna have my skin just
I need
aged
everything
by radiation, it needs to age evenly.
I need. Yeah. I would spend weekends making sure I got sun on my body, so I don't fuck up. Like everything needs to match.
I mean, and you can see it too, and like, you know, there's people who skin did not age well just because they spent
I think
their
there's
entire
fair
youth,
skin for
like,
sure.
on the beach and shit.
Yeah, I think there's fair skinned people, but I'm just saying, man, like, I don't know, man. I just don't know, man.
Man, regardless of it all, when I go out there, I get sunburn, I don't feel like peeling skin off my body.
I think it's being sunscreen,
the amount
man.
of aloe I got to put on, the dehydration. I remember this one time.
It's gonna fuck you up for in the beginning, but then you're gonna adapt. And
I don't want to adapt. I don't go out that often to adapt.
You're gonna get back to your dark ways.
It's not for me.
Let's get dark Steve back,
sunblock on.
Let's bring back darker tan Steve.
No, sir.
I want to see that dude, man. That dude was crazy. That dude was wild, man.
That dude.
What do you think about that dude? What if you could talk to that dude? What'd you tell him?
Stay inside more. Don't forget the sunblock.
And he's like, "Fuck you, dude." Like, he's not gonna listen to you. He doesn't know you're him. Like, cause you probably wouldn't. Like, I guess you might notice. You're like, that kind of looks like me, but I don't think you would put it together. Like, hey, that's gonna be me. If you were young, you know, like it would just look like kind of like you, unless it was some kind of like identifying mark, like if you had a birthmark or something on your forearm.
I have a birthmark on my forearm.
I'll see. I don't know how I guess that.
Which one's my forearm? Is this my forearm?
Yeah.
Okay, outside.
Yeah, so if you walked up and you showed him your forearm.
This one's pretty specific.
Yeah, if you showed him that bicep arm and you went like that, and then he looks at his arm and he has the same mark, you're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Do you have any birthmarks?
Yeah, on my neck right here, dude.
You know, have you heard that saying, like, a birthmark is the way you died in your past life?
Well, mine died like the state of California then, because that's what it looks like on my back, dude. I don't have any pictures, but like it goes across and it looks like the shape.
Well, then, you know, maybe you were like stabbed.
Or branded.
In the back.
What if I was branded?
Could have been
by the
branded.
State of California, dude.
No, that's not how you died, though.
Maybe.
Like for example, if someone
died by branding. I died. I was branded and then I died.
No, you were like cut or stabbed a couple times.
Or I was branded and then later in life I died.
Yeah, like birthmarks are supposed to be the scars of how you died. So if you were killed by branding, that would leave the scar of a birthmark. But that's a fucking terrible, stupid way to die.
But what is it? Just your in your genes? That's how the previous
I don't know
died?
if this is actual science or anything.
No, but I'm saying just in this theory, is it
like,
is it
let's
the theory?
say the theory is like you're reincarnated, right? So in your past life,
it's a reincarnation.
Yeah,
thing.
in your past life, however way you were killed, if it would have left a scar, that's your birthmark in today's life. So I don't know how I died in my past life, but it looks like it was to the arm. Okay.
Oh yeah, you got shot in the arm, dude.
Yeah, maybe there was like an infection
or an arrow.
It could have been an arrow.
Yeah, you took a spear, dude.
I could have landed on a rock pretty terribly, and that's the scar. Like after breaking my neck at the same time.
What if you got stabbed a bunch of times?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you got stabbed a bunch of times, and then eventually the healed scar looks like the state of California.
Or maybe. But I'm saying, what if you got stabbed a bunch of times? Are you gonna have a bunch of dots? Is that what freckles are? You got stabbed in the face?
No.
Or you got shot in the face?
Freckles come from the sun.
You think it's just no? But I guess that's not a birthmark. Okay, so yeah, but what if you got stabbed a bunch of times? Are you gonna have a bunch of birthmarks all over your back?
I guess so, or up until the point of the more lethal stab mark, the one that actually did it.
The body knows.
The body knows.
Maybe just my head got chopped off. That's what was left.
That could be it. That's where it started. Like you died at that point before the rest of your body.
How many centuries or thousands of years people did that to each other?
Just cutting off each other's heads?
Yeah. forever, right?
Didn't they do it up until like a couple decades ago?
You're talking about like the death penalty? Did they actually do like guillotine?
France had the last
Guillotine?
guillotine.
Is it guillotine or guillotine? I don't know. I'm saying it wrong.
Let's see.
That's gnarly, dude. Did they let people see it?
No, they stopped doing it publicly.
That's bullshit. If you're gonna do it, fucking. But they have to have witnesses, though.
It would be like
every death penalty, whatever, has witnesses.
Let's see here.
I mean, you're not gonna put it on live TV or something, but you're talking about like a couple decades ago they did this, like 80s or something, 90s?
Yeah.
No way. I thought I would have.
Let's see here.
Big news. The last execution by head choppy offy.
Death by guillotine was 1977.
Shit, 70s.
I told you. I guess it was more than a couple decades, but so
what's the info?
Let's see. France had standardized the method of judicial execution until abolition of capital punishment in 1981.
So
the last person to be executed in France was Hamida Chandoubi, guillotined on the 10th of September, 1977.
Whoa. They were doing that for fucking centuries over there, dude. Off with his head, right?
He was a Tunisian convicted murderer, sentenced to death in France. He kidnapped, tortured, and murdered a 22-year-old woman. He was sentenced to death in February 1977, executed by guillotine. Wow. This guy looks scary.
He was a fucking nutcase, dude. But yeah, they got him staring at the fucking floor and shit. Not even staring at the camera.
He is supposedly also that girl he kidnapped. What did he do? I guess he had been amputated. He's an amputee.
I already had shit missing.
I don't fucking know anymore. But yeah, he was the last public execution.
I mean, it's not
by guillotine in France.
You want to have executions. I mean, I don't want to have, but I'm saying states want the right, and then they end up using like chemicals that they have to purchase like from out of the country because no U.S. like agency is allowed to like sell the chemicals for what it's going to be used for, and then no doctor is allowed to administer it because that's against the oath of medicine or whatever. Right? They all take like a oath or whatever.
The HIPAA.
Not murder motherfuckers.
Hippocratic oath.
Yeah. Right? Isn't that right? So
yeah, that they're not supposed to do harm.
Yeah, so they can't murder nobody. They can't administer the chemicals. So they got to get somebody else that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, or sort of knows what they're doing. And then sometimes the chemicals don't work. So then the person's like suffering and they're like screaming, yelling, and their fucking skin's on fire. Like they have like horrible like fucking stories of like the shit not working, or the shit was wrong, or it was bad shit.
There was actually this trial in England that this woman was sentenced to hanging. That was her sentence. She was sentenced to hanging. So they hung her. But she didn't die. Her neck didn't snap.
Ooh.
And so she was just like hanging there alive, and she just wasn't dying. And so eventually they just cut her down and they were going to rehang her. But then they like stopped and they're like, well, she was hung though. Well, yeah, but she's not dead. Yeah, but the sentence wasn't hung to death. It was to be hung.
Well,
by the neck.
Fucked up right there.
And that happened. So like it went to like a court and she was
set free
because it's like, well, you served your sentence. You were hung.
That's such a fucking.
But you weren't hung to death.
It's such a lawyer thing, dude. They're all about loopholes and finding fucking.
Well, that's why it's like sentenced by hanging, death by hanging.
Yes.
Or hung until dead.
That would happen with the girl too, because her body's not as heavy. So she's not as dense. So like a dude, well, his body's way too heavy. It would just fucking snap, or you would choke.
I just think it sucks. Like, you're going to be choking. You're going to be hanging by your head. That's going to hurt for so long to just sit there and like, someone just get me down already.
I think you pass out pretty quick.
Oh my God. Even if you did and you're still alive though? And they're like, is she dead yet? No. Could we kill her?
Like,
no.
This hurts.
She's like, come down now. I've been up here for hours.
I think this thing is rubbing on my neck.
It hurts.
I got a rug burn.
Damn, dude. That sucks.
It sucks. I mean, she didn't die though. That would have sucked more. So she got her freedom, I guess. But what did she do? She do something
I don't know.
worth? I mean, you don't have to look it up. It's fine. I'm just saying, like, did she like kill a bunch of people or something? Like, you don't usually hear about chicks getting executed, so that's kind of odd. The majority of murders and shit are done by men. I think like 99% or something like that.
She was probably being tried for being a witch or some shit.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know.
Yeah, they did hang people and burn people, right? For witchcraft, witchery. I don't know.
Margaret Dixon was an Edinburgh woman who survived being hanged in 1721 for the crime of concealing a pregnancy in the case of a dead child.
Oh my God, that's it?
Let's see here. They say that...
I mean, they lost kids all the time back in those... What was the year?
17...
Yeah, the 1700s, kids were dying all the time. They get sick and they didn't know how to treat them.
So let's see. There are a number of accounts relating to the hanging of Margaret or Maggie Dixon, but as a whole, most agree that Maggie was tried for concealing the birth of her infant son and was hanged in Edinburgh's Grassmarket in the 2nd of September, 1724. Coming back to life in the back of a cart on her way to be buried in Musselburgh.
Oh, so she did pass out.
They nicknamed her Half-Hangit Maggie, and she would live on for a further 30 or 40 years, dying, it's believed, in 1765.
They've had that happen, though. This is not the only case.
So I guess maybe she was hung and they assumed that she was dead.
Put her down, and then she's alive. She comes back.
She came back.
They have those stories of people in the morgue, in the bag and shit, and they're like, help, and they're just screaming because they're inside the fucking bag and the fucking whatever, what do you call it? The freezers and shit.
Fucking giant ice chest for bodies.
That's
Is that what it's called?
No. It's
an igloo for bodies.
Igloo body. No, dude. The I want to say mortuary, but that's where you get buried. It's the
no. The mortuary is where.
Yeah, that's where they actually have the embalming.
That sounds about right. The morgue. You're in the morgue.
Yeah, you're just a morgue, right? It's just a morgue. That's where they house the body.
I think that's the definition for morgue is you house dead people.
So they're screaming and kicking and shit in there. They need to get them out of the bag. So because they woke up, they were pronounced dead. They took their pulse, they were dead, and they came back and fucking rocked the shit.
That's fucking scary too, man.
I wonder if your heart rate can get so low.
What was it? The Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
What movie is that?
Where he's buried alive.
The fuck? And
all he's got is a fucking cell phone. And he was kidnapped and then buried alive by some mass murderer dude. And then he has the cell phone and he's got a very weak signal and he's got matches and shit and that's it. And he ends up talking to a detective or something on the phone and shit. And they're trying to find his body. And he's running out of air.
And he's talking to them on the phone.
Yeah. And they're we think we found the location. We got him. He told us where the location is. We're coming to get you. We're coming to get you. And they're digging. And he's excited he's going to get out of this. And then they say, it's not you.
What?
They found a different spot with a different person, but it wasn't him.
What the fuck?
That's how the fucking movie ends.
Oh.
He's just buried in there and they didn't find him.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. That's so sad. You spent a whole fucking 2 hours. It's crazy because it's like it's a feature film. And the whole movie is just him in a fucking box.
Yeah, talking.
Yeah. That's it.
But I mean, you gotta, at some point you're like, all right, I gotta stop talking because I'm using more oxygen if I keep talking, right? Wouldn't you think?
And then like burning like the match uses oxygen.
Yeah. It needs oxygen to burn.
It's just, that's fucking savage.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you get out of that? How do you unbury yourself?
You do it like Kill Bill. You punch and you punch and you punch and then you do weird kicks all the way up to the surface.
Does that happen to Kill Bill?
Yeah. Remember, she got buried alive and then she fucking dug herself out.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, it was definitely not realistic. But yeah, she was running up the dirt. Shit. They showed her like a side view, like an ant farm. They showed her.
I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, it was weird.
I'm gonna have to take a look at it.
I think it's the second one. I don't remember. Maybe the first one. No, not the first one. It's got to be the second one or third one. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I guess that was one of those movies that you can only really watch one time, and then you're like, all right, I can't watch it again. I already know what the fuck's gonna happen, you know. Like, what was that other movie with Liam Neeson where he was on the plane and they were trying to figure out who was like passenger, right? Is that what it was called? The one Liam Neeson movie where he's on the plane and he's trying to figure out who put the bomb on the plane or who's like, and he's like, everybody's a suspect, you know, on the plane, and there's always this sketchy guy and you're like, it's got to be him, but it's not, you know. I'm like,
I don't know. I don't remember that one.
It's not a bad movie, but once you figure out at the end, you know, who it was, you know, because there's all the misdirections and everything that they give you, like, well, you can't watch it anymore. Because then, I mean,
I guess you're right.
You can watch it.
There's movies like one of my favorite movies is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yes.
That stars Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson in it?
Remember?
No.
I got it mixed up with another movie.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing.
Regardless,
there's no reason
I can watch that movie multiple times, mainly because every time I watched it, like I've watched it like several times, at least a dozen times, and the first like half a dozen times, you see different things for the outcome of the movie. So, like, you see different clues and shit about the mystery that's going on in the movie and whatnot. And another, like, fun thing about watching that movie is watching it with people who haven't seen it before. Because, like, I love to see the reaction of people like, oh, my gosh, what a twist, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the movies with good twists are always awesome. But, you know, a good movie is just a good movie, and you can watch it as many times as you want. But,
right.
You know, regular, decent movies that are just good stories. If it's a mystery, you're going to watch it once and you're like, well, I can't really. I mean, you can watch it a second time because then you're like, oh, I see what they were doing in the beginning of the movie. Like, I didn't notice that part when they were doing this in the background. You know, you can.
Yeah, it's like you look back, like, I mean, like Fight Club. That's one that ruins its mystery. But if you go back and watch it, like, then you start to see the little things that have happened in this movie, like random frames of where. Like they spliced in,
oh yeah, dick pic or something.
Yeah, well, not the dick pic, but they splice in Brad Pitt. Did you know there's frames in the movie where Brad Pitt is just randomly flashed in a frame or two?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff.
He's in the office. He's in the office, and he's printing paper or something, and then you just get the
you don't
mark.
even realize you see it, and you go rewatch it, and you're like, oh my god, was that there the first time?
Yeah.
And then you start to see like different aspect, like different view of the story. When you know the ending of a movie and it's a good movie like that one, You know, like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. You go and rewatch it, and you see things.
I like how you put Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
I gotta make sure it's up there.
With Fight Club.
it's up there. Same tier
on your list.
On my list. But like, you know, in Fight Club, you go and you rewatch that movie, and you see the things that lead to the outcome. Like it was like the movie was telling us the whole time, and we just didn't have the ability to recognize it. Like Memento is like that too.
Oh yeah, a lot of Christopher Nolan movies. You got to watch it more than once, and you're like, "Oh shit, okay."
Oh shit, yeah, it's been there the whole time. Like we were aware of this the whole fucking time, but we just did not know we were.
Yeah, especially Fight Club, especially one of those movies, because then those scenes where Edward Norton's watching Brad Pitt fight. Now you're like, no, he wasn't watching Brad Pitt fight. He was fighting.
Yes, he was fighting,
but he was picturing himself. Watching himself fight. So it was like some kind of out of body experience he was having. But yeah, the movie led you to believe it was two characters the whole time. But most of those scenes, you're like, oh, wait, no, he was the one doing that. He was the one giving the speeches to all the fucking crazy people, you know? Mm-hmm. He didn't realize he was doing that. And he even tells you while he's narrating, because there's a whole narration of the movie. Right. Edward Norton's constantly narrating. And he was at the doctor when he got hurt one of the times. And he's like, sometimes I let Tyler talk for me. And he's like, tell him you fell down the stairs. He's like, I fell down the stairs. He's like, tell him this or something. He's like, that, you know, and he just keeps like relay. You see a relay of messages and you're like, that's kind of weird at the doctor's office. Some guys
exactly.
But it's not. It's in his head.
Yes, because it's in his head.
Yeah, so now you're like,
and you watch it, you get a different perspective. It's a different scene for you. They've gotten the fucking value of that movie because you can, you know, imagine like you see that when it comes out in theaters, and you have the fucking geeky friend that worked at the movie theater. He's like, bro, have you watched that movie? Like, because I've seen it a couple times. It's crazy because you could see this and this and this happen. You're like, no fucking way. Yeah. No fucking way. Now I've got to go buy a whole fucking other ticket to go see this movie again. And you're just doing that. You're like, fucking shit.
I like Tarantino too. He'll do stuff like that too. Or he just has these long dialogues that sometimes you don't really listen to what they're talking about, but then you watch it a second or third time, you're like, oh shit, the whole time they're talking about that? That's what they're talking about? Like the opening scene with John Travolta, and they're having a whole conversation about foot massages. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I heard that dude got thrown off of the balcony because he gave his wife a foot massage. And he's like, that's pretty crazy. And he's like, and the guy's like, I don't know, man. He's like, I give pretty good foot massages. He's like, they're pretty sexual. And he's like, man, foot massage is just a foot massage. You know, there's nothing about foot. He's like, and then they're just going back and forth about foot massage, right? And he's like, you ever give a foot massage? He's like, yeah, man, I get the oils, I get everything, man. I'm real deep into it. That's what Samuel was saying, right? And then John Travolta's like, would you give me a foot massage? He's like, fuck you. And he just walks away. He's like, come on, man, give me a foot massage. And he's like, fuck you. And they're just talking shit to each other, dude. And it's just funny because it's not just a foot massage, you know. Like, I don't know.
It's one of those things that, like, especially
it can be.
Why
more.
Is that scene in a movie? Because it's natural. Like, it's a fucking conversation.
It's a great conversation.
It's just people talking, and it's natural. It's not something that's like scripted to move the plot of the movie forward or anything. It's just what it is.
It's a great dialogue.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like I like Kevin Smith movies. Like, you watch Clerks, and that's pointed out like several times. Like, you got the scene where they're just sitting there and they're talking about the Death Star, and they're talking about, like, you know what though? I kind of feel bad for what happened on the Death Star. Like, well, what's up with that? Like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, it's like a government thing, right? So you have like government contracting guys. Like, everyone's so happy that the Death Star was blown up, but it was like the first one again, but the second Death Star that got blown up was mid-construction.
So there's a lot of crews.
So it's not just fucking stormtroopers that are on the Death Star, right? You've got like construction workers. you know, how would that feel? Like, you know what I mean? Think about it. Like, you got a guy who's like a roofer. He's out there putting the fucking roof on the Death Star, and all of a sudden some rebels come and blow him up, and you think the government, like, contract's going to suck, right? And then you got another guy who's just like, yeah, man, he's just buying milk, and he's like, yeah, my uncle worked for a government contract like that. They ain't going to pay for the families. Yeah, only breadwinner in the household just blown up because of some fucking rebel terrorist.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's a different perspective for sure. But it had no point in the plot in the movie. It was just something that it's just natural conversation. You get lost in those kind of scenes because it's the same reason, like, you know, you get lost in conversations just talking with your friends. It's just bullshit that comes up because it's just like thoughts people have, and no one's like, yeah, well, you know, put that in a movie. Why would I put that in a movie? That's weird. It's like, well, you don't need to. It's just, it doesn't need to be weird. It's normal. It's natural. It's conversation.
It doesn't need to be in the movie, and most big budget movies won't waste time like that.
No, they won't.
On dialogue like that. But when you do get that in the movie, you do get these moments of having a stupid conversation. It makes the character feel
It makes
real.
the movie feel more
Well, the characters are alive.
Yeah.
They're real people now.
Them. Yeah.
Because they had a real conversation like a real person would.
They had a personality trait that like, you know, matches with the everyday average dude. Like, you believe what they're saying more. This
is a conversation two people might have.
Right.
And it's just funny hearing them go back and forth.
And it's true because, you know, you had that fucking conversation once with somebody.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they make it brings them alive. And then now you're more invested. So whatever happens to these characters, you're more invested now because you got to hear a piece of them. So
right.
It's just great writing and great directing. But those are the things that make these movies great. You know, those little parts that last.
Definitely.
Because they're I don't know, whatever. Oh man, I think we're hitting it. I think we're hitting the end.
We hit it.
Yeah,
we hit it hard, man.
Good.
We came in here and we were like, bam, bam, right hook, left hook. I don't know how many hooks you're supposed to do. I don't really follow.
Left hook, right hook, left again, right
just
again.
Hooking? Is it just like this? That's like a fucking gorilla attacking
I'm made of hooks. I got nothing but hooks.
All right. Well, this is another lovely iteration of Digital Cortex. It's been a pleasure. This is a great Wednesday evening. My name is Steven. That's Random Styles. We're gonna say goodbye.
Later.